good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm going to echo what our MC has already said. You all look very, very wonderful. I think you should give yourself a round of applause just for coming here looking like. I think you can do better than that. When I was tasked with giving the history of New Life Counseling, I wanted to add my own spin and perspective to it. If you prefer a more traditional history, then you can find one in this evening's booklet. But as for tonight, you're going to hear our history through my lenses. As I was thinking about what to say, I thought of yawning. And no, I'm not saying that working at New Life Counseling is boring, nor is this speech boring. But you must admit, yawning is contagious. This kind of contagiousness reminds me of New Life Counseling and its culture of serving individuals and families. For those of you who know me, you know that I am not a clinician, although I did have a brief stint as a mentor, but that's another story. You know that I'm not a therapist. I'm not directly affecting the lives of our clients, and nor do I walk the street, walking the walk or talking the talk of solution-focused services. But my experience at New Life has led me to believe, inevitably, that you adopt its mission. A mission to empower, nurture, advocate, and educate individuals, youth, their families, and communities. All through services that are linguistically appropriate, holistically driven, and culturally competent. I say it again. The culture of service, especially to our families and individuals, is contagious. Much like a yawn, it passes from one person to another. This truth is evident in New Life's history. It started when we were previously known as D&C Associates, and the dream of holistic counseling was birthed in the small office home of Paula Duvelson Chrysostom. In 2003, New Life Counseling opened its doors at 324 North Main Street. The contagious culture took form in her passion for counseling individuals and couples. It was there when the initial desire grew to encompass a vision of helping the underserved and disenfranchised in their own culture, in their own cultural atmosphere. It manifested when her family members invested their time in the adoption services that we had provided then. This culture was contagious in 2005 when DSS at the time gave us our first contract. 4 staff members became 8. 4 families a month became 10. It was evident to others when our first DSS client, an African American, wanted a person of color to be part of the case management team. Per the request of the DSS worker, the judge contacted Dr. Paula. It was apparent on the faces of the 10 employees who were with us when we moved from 324 to 9 Canton Street. When the outpatient clinic was licensed in 2009, it was evident then that this culture had pushed hard enough to open doors for the agency to extend its services to mass health members. It pushed harder for the CSA RFR bid that led us to provide culturally competent services for Wayside and Bay State through intensive care coordination. It spread throughout the staff too. In one instance, the staff personally cooked meals for a family in need staying at a Motel 6 in New Bedford. So contagious was the desire to help these families that it manifested into the Community Support Program, better known as CSP, in 2010. In-home therapy, IHT, in 2011, and individual and family flexible support services of DMH in 2012. You can see it in the agency's resiliency as we surf the ebb and flow of case referrals and consistent state budget cuts. You see it in our altruistic, yet stubborn nature to provide quality services even when unit rates aren't enough. and I know most of you know that they're not enough. I saw it when Paula Evans and I sat with a certain financial figure in DCF. Paula told him that even if he didn't give us the rate we needed to pay our multilingual and multicultural staff, we would still provide families with the highest quality care services. It was contagious for him too, as he reluctantly, yet understandably, acquiesced to our request. I know he could tell that the culture of serving families permeated throughout the agency from top to bottom. I see it from the supervisors that guide and support, teach their staff good clinical skills. It's unmistakable in the clinicians as they work tirelessly with families, often spending late nights at shelters, homes, and hospitals. I get a glimpse of it with the administrative staff as they support the agency's clinical personnel with their hard work in medical records, office management, technology, and finance. It is so contagious that even though we moved to 442 North Main Street in 2013, and some of the faces have come and gone, the passion and the desire remain, and it multiplies. It is after seeing all these things that I, vicariously through my support of the staff and work in the agency, serve these individuals and families. And lastly, it truly is evident tonight that the culture of serving families is contagious as we gather here to celebrate our first 10 years and hopefully partner together to usher in the next. German historian and psychologist Wilhelm Dilthey said, "What man is, only his history tells." And believe me, our history has shown what New Life is truly about: helping individuals and families with linguistically appropriate, holistically driven, and culturally competent services.
Thank you so much, Ricardo, the Director of Operations of the Haitian Chapter.